Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the world's greatest international trend-setting podcast. We're here to talk about high rocks and triathlons. No, we're not. Imagine if we did. Imagine if we did. How cool would that be? So, welcome everybody to our first live show of our award-winning podcast, and soon to be award-winning again. I'll just put that out there. So yeah, thank you for everybody who did vote. But yes, we are here to entertain you over the next 59 minutes. And if you are joining us live, I want you to get into the chat section and tell us what you've been up to and what New Year's resolutions you have. Because we want to talk about a little bit about New Year's resolutions, but we also want to talk and connect with those new runners that are out there. Anybody who's coming back to running, anybody who's decided to start running. Whoever you may be, we want to connect with you a little bit tonight. So we're going to be talking about the sort of things that every new runner needs to know in 2025. We're going to be doing that at some point. But as I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about New Year's resolutions and some other stuff as we go along. We've got an amazing team of absolute legends joining us tonight. What are you laughing at? Between drinks, she's here, Marissa. She's just
tea.
Yeah, don't tell lies. We know what's in there. We've got joining us for the very first time. Steph's down there. Everybody say hello to Steph. Welcome to the team. Hello, Steph. And Grandmaster is here. Wilco's in the house. Evening, Wilco. Good to have you here, brother.
Mate. Hello,
we've got to give a shout out to our sponsors at Skechers. Get over to skechers.co.uk, who I will be joining at the National Running Show in a couple of weeks' time. We've also got to give a shout out to our friends at Vive, Audi Coke. We've also got to shout out to Start Fitness. I want you to go over there. And you, Steph, what's the code at Start Fitness? Do you know it?
40 runs.
Good girl.
40.
Oh, by the way, look at that, Steph, for you. Look, they've
What's
come in from Cape Town to watch us tonight. Cape Town. That's
hello.
mental. That's
crazy.
unbelievable. Wilco, you obviously
Hello.
started your marathon training plan, and if you was to use Kendall to fuel those training runs, what code would you use to get some money off?
I'd probably use 40 runs, mate.
What a hero. And I would suggest to everybody who is not being coached by me personally, and if you want to go to 40runs.com, I'd also suggest you all use Cooper. And you can get 20% off and 2-week trial. Go over to 40runs.com/Cooper, and they will help you train. Okay, they won't help you. No, I better not. I was in enough trouble after the other day. I'll stop right there. No. Okay, team, how are we? It's first week back. It's like first week back at school. Marissa, have you been a good girl?
I always.
That's a lie.
I am. I don't know who you're talking about. Really good. Yeah, good feet.
You been a good boy?
Yeah, knuckling down, mate. Getting stuck in the old marathon plan. It's going all right.
You're in a Hanson training, aren't you?
Very much so, mate. We're in the middle of week 6. It's just kicked off.
I thought you said handsome training.
I did too.
He's planning to be handsome.
I've been doing that for 52 years. You know.
Obviously,
And look, it's done me no bloody good. But apart from that,
Wilco, so for our newbies,
yeah.
just if you had 30 seconds to explain Hanson, not handsome, which I am, explain what that training consists of. Go, 30 seconds.
Plenty of running, lots of mileage, not necessarily big. There's no 20 milers in it. The furthest I'll go is 16. It's more cumulative miles during the week rather than big miles at the end of the week. It's really kicked in. Week 6 this week. I did my first speed session on it and my first tempo run, and the mileage has really cranked up. So it's been a bit of a culture shock, but it's Friday, a couple of runs this weekend, and then we'll be through that, and then hopefully be looking at the other side and feeling a lot more confident about it.
Out of interest, what was the shift towards the Hanson versus?
On my part,
yeah.
I just fancied, just giving something a go differently. It's this is for Brighton. This will be my 7th marathon. Wanting to actually look at a plan. I'm the sort of person who likes a book and a graph and
with your wireless.
Yeah. And my gramophone and my ear trumpet. And I like to because I don't work a conventional sort of Monday to Friday 9 to 5 work pattern. I like to be able to shift things around without too much of a palaver. So I thought I'd give this a go as well. It's pretty tough. It's going to be a lot of miles. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better at sleeping. I'm getting better at getting up in the morning and getting it done. So I think it's been a positive change. So fingers crossed it's going to go all right.
Good to hear, brother. And again, just quickly, if anyone's joining us live, which is great, awesome, thanks very much. Get your questions, get your comments in. We want to hear New Year's resolutions. We're going to be talking about sort of things that new runners need, whether you're coming back to running, whether you're new to running, whatever it is. If you're somebody who's been running for a bit, get some tips in there, and we'll share them out. People obviously who watch this back will be able to pick them up, and we can share that with them as well as we go through to make sure. Steph,
yes.
Hello. What are you training for or not training for?
As always, it's grown. So the list has grown.
Okay.
So we've gone from, I got into Cardiff Half, so that's my A race this year. But the rest of it, I'm hoping just to get around the course and enjoy it and have time with friends and that sort of thing. But I've got Leeds Half coming up in May, and then there's a run that I'm doing in July as well. Those are the three major ones. They're all halves. And then I'm also excited to be a tail runner for a 10K event that's happening in April.
We're going to come on to that. Hold your breath, because I'm going to dive into that. I want to talk about that in a bit. Yeah, I do. It's really important that I really want to get into that. So, yeah, so a few half marathons. I'm doing the Cardiff Half. Yeah. Marissa, you doing the Cardiff Half?
No, I did it last year.
Ah, she's so hardcore. She's done.
When's that, mate? When's that going to be?
October.
Sold out, Wilco.
Is it?
Yeah, mate. Honestly. Everything has sold out.
I'll tell you, it's a nightmare, isn't it? Like people, saying, "Oh, you got to book this. It's sold out. It's in November. It's bloody November. It's January the 10th."
I think Cardiff sold out really quick.
It sold out, I think, within 12 hours or 24 hours.
Is this because it's been sort of like it's inaugurated in this super house business, and everybody has to jump on the marketing bandwagon and be told which events they've got to go to?
It's
actually not a bad half though. It's all right.
Well, and they have decent cutoff times compared to some of the other ones as well, which is why I wanted to do that one to start my super half journey, so to speak. That's why I chose that one. It's a lot more inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm a big fan of the whole concept around the super halves. It was interesting there. What's that? I've got to be so careful. I've got to be a really good boy. What's that publication that people read?
That narrows it down.
Runners. I was going to call it Runners Need, but it's Runners something.
Runners World.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to be fair. I'm trying a bit. I'm going to try and navigate tonight's show without getting a bollocking from admin. All right. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay. So if I'm struggling or I mute myself, it's because I don't want to get that bollocking again. Anyway, in whatever publication that was, they were actually talking about the super halves. So big like they were pushing it as well. So it just shows you the level of interest. But yeah, it is amazing how everything is selling out. It is nuts really when you think about it. Like, what was it? You've got Vitality 10Ks open for sale. I know they have a lot of tickets up for sale, but that'll probably sell out. You've got Big Half, and there's a lot of stuff on the same day as well, like Big Half and Great North Run on the same day. We've got London Marathon and Manchester on the same day. There's loads of big events all on the same days as well, which is crazy. It's just, I don't know, I think because running is so popular. But anyway, right. So here's a tip, not a tip, because that's what Steve just wrote. Here's a question. Do you think 2025, and let us know if you're watching live with what you think about this, is this the peak of running in terms of participation as a sport? Marissa?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the start. I just think it's taking off and everyone's going mad.
Okay.
And I just think it's going to just keep climbing.
Okay. All right. Wilco, do you think that this is going to be the peak year for running in terms of like the hype and everybody's now got on top of it and that's it? And then it will start to slowly peter off and everyone will do high rocks.
I won't. I think Marissa's on the ball there, really. I think that we're I think these things are going to continue to escalate, and you will get more and more events because people are, councils and organisers in particular towns will see what's going on in their neighbouring, in their vicinity, and they'll be looking to sort of like emulate that. And there will be a take up for 10Ks, half marathons and marathons. I think it's a natural progression from like the parkrun explosion. Really, I think it's people who do are now regularly doing a 5K every Saturday morning now want to try and push themselves, and going to running groups as well, and seeing other people, and being encouraged to try their luck and give these things a go. So I think it's only going to grow and grow.
It's horrible. Can I just say, I'm just going to put it out. It's horrible being on a tight leash, because I had a conversation today which I'd love to share with you, but I can't because I will get so told off. I could. Oh no! So it's about what Wilco just mentioned. Steph, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't think we're seeing the peak yet. I think it will come, because it always comes in peaks and troughs. But I think what we will see is we'll see a lot more inclusion in the sport. And that's what I hope to see, at least. And that will get a lot more people that are doing the park runs and joining these other races. And no matter their pace, no matter their ability, they're actually going to start showing up more and actually being visible and making a point that running is for everyone.
I love it. It is. I totally agree. Funnily enough, Wilco, a point you made, I was talking to a council about in a city about helping them put on a half marathon because they saw their neighbouring city doing it. We was getting involved in that, which is interesting. And I think the Hatfield, I just saw Petra put something in the Facebook group about Hatfield 10K. I think that's that's a new event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this weekend. Yeah,
but that's a new event, right?
Yeah, it's an ATW, I think.
Yeah, so my point is that, like what you just said, these things are popping up all over the place. We shall see. We shall see. Right, who wants to play a game?
Hey,
why not?
Well, it's the first one of the year. It's not like a trial game like we tried.
What, that rubbish game?
Well, there's nothing rubbish about that at all. Well, that was brilliant. Steph, did you listen to the episode of the pilot of the game?
Maybe.
No, you can just say no. I didn't.
No, I probably have, but I tend to do it like listen washing dishes and that kind of thing, so I don't remember everything.
Fine. That's fine. It was called Would You Rather, and it was brilliant. And we've had some emails in about potentially making it into a TV show. They were slightly put off by Hayden's reference to no tops and stuff like that. So they were a bit upset about that, but I clarified it. So we're all good. So we will bring that back once I've worked out how to create an awesome jingle for it, which we're going to do. So what I thought, because it's the first one of the year, even though it's the 10th of January, I thought we would play a lightning round for the team, but sort of around New Year's resolutions. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to play the intro, basically because it's award-winning. Are you ready?
Okay.
If you're listening to this as a podcast, turn your volume down.
Go for it.
There you go. So first time outing of the lightning round intro. So again, if you're joining us live, you can play along to this as we go into this. Right. So guys, you have to answer this quickly. It's a lightning round. So there's Marissa, you can't sit there and go,
don't ask me first then. So I've got time.
No, I like answering you first because it puts
I know you do.
Pressure.
Yeah, I know.
So just be ready. You've got to hit me. You've got to go like 40 bosh. Okay. And the same, if you're playing at home or you're on your long run and you listen to this, same deal with you. Okay. I'm going to say what it is, and then I will pick on one of you, and then I'll work around the room. So I could come to any of you. I usually like to start with Marissa because it kills her. Are you ready, team?
Yeah, let's go.
Go for it.
Wilco, main goal for 2025.
Sub 4:30 marathon at Brighton.
Hero. Marissa, main goal for 2025.
Complete Boston.
Legend. Steph, main goal for 2025.
Involve more people in running.
I mean, that's what you should have all said, really.
Yeah, I know.
Marissa, do a high rocks or a triathlon in 2025?
High rocks.
Steph?
Triathlon.
I'd rather do a triathlon.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'd rather do a triathlon. And we are doing one, funnily enough. I had that confirmed. Did I mention that I'm doing a triathlon to anyone?
No.
No, I'm doing the Blenheim Triathlon in...
cool.
Well, I don't know when it is.
I think it's June.
You're
swimming?
Yeah, I can't. I did say I did say, by the way, with the guys, I know this is the lightning round and we're meant to be banging through these. I'm not doing any training for it. I'm just telling you now. Who's I running with? I was with Pagey. Big shout out to Pagey in his yellow hat and his keys. But on our Wednesday run club, which is very social, it's just me and him, we was running along and I was telling him I'm not training for it. I refuse point blank to train for it. But I'm doing
What about putting the funny pedals on for the bike?
No, I'm not doing that. I fell off last time I did that.
Oh, what about the little spokes for it? Those little beads that go on it.
Would that annoy Hayden?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah. So
you're going to swim and you're going to ride a bike, and you don't do either of them, and you're not going to train.
What are they going to
Is
do
that
about
smart?
it? Nothing. So exactly. So anyway, so that's happening. Anyway, carry on. Remember, it's the lightning round. Everybody playing at home. I can't remember who answered what. So I'm going to go back to Marissa. Run for times or run for good times in 2025?
Run for good times.
See what I did there? Wilco?
Yeah, I'll run for good times always.
Steph? Yeah, good times. That's our vibe, people. That's the way we roll. Okay, Wilco, one bit of kit you need for 2025. What is that bit of kit you're going to buy? Lightning round.
Oh, God, I don't know. I've lost my hat with the light on, so I'm going to have to go and get another one of them.
An LED hat.
Yeah.
Steph.
Anti-chafe.
Oh, God. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting anti-chafe. Marissa.
I need new trousers.
What, just for going out, for work? Or...
No, for running, because they're all too big.
Trousers?
Yeah, they keep falling down.
Who wears trousers?
I do. It's cold. It's
Oh,
winter.
can I revisit my answer?
No, Wilco. Don't you mean leggings?
Well, same thing. Put them on your legs, trousers, leggings.
Steph, are they leggings or trousers? Oh,
Yeah.
Both.
Can somebody let me know in the comments?
Hey, they're pants where I come
there
from.
you go. Wilco, sorry.
Men wear pants. I don't wear pants.
Cowboys wear shorts when they're running.
Sorry.
On a horse, they wear jeans. Yeah, go on.
I thought of something else that I need. I need a FORDY Broxbourne t-shirt.
Oh.
I don't know what that is. What do you need?
I need some yellow socks.
Oh, this is not a shopping list. This is the lightning round. Shut up.
I've got a pair. Can I have? I'll go get.
Who said yellow? Did you say yellow socks?
Yeah, you said you'd give me some yellow socks.
You can have Paige's yellow hat to go with it. Mileage target for 2025, Marissa.
Oh.
1,000 miles.
Steph, you got one?
We'll go 500.
Okay.
I did
You're
1,500.
handsome, so you should be about 12 million.
Yeah, I did 1,500 last year, so beat that. Yeah.
Okay. Steph, one thing you're going to do better in 2025. Remember lightning round?
Oh. No. There is no lightning here.
One thing only. You're going to do better in 2025.
Come back to me. I don't know.
Passed, Marissa.
Train better. There I go.
Wilco?
Sleep and eat better.
Oh, sleep.
I'm going to sleep for 2025.
What is sleep?
Steph, last chance to jump in.
Choose races that actually I want to do, not just because of
I'll
FOMO.
move you on that one. Hence the reason I know about Hatfield is because I was looking it up. One new thing that you're going to do in 2025, Marissa, other than that high rocks. No, he can't help you.
Well, you can. Something new.
Lightning round. What we need is like a lightning bolt to hit anybody who delays me.
God, I'd be dead.
Bit straight.
I don't know.
One thing new that you're going to do in 2025. I would say it's the same as your previous answer.
Yeah, okay. Something new is I'm gonna stick and do my long runs. Maybe.
I'm just saying train better. Wilco.
I'd like to do some pacing.
I thought you were going to say painting.
Nah, I don't know. You wouldn't want me
Handsome
doing that, mate.
painting.
He's going to be handsome and he's going to do some painting. Steph, something new for you in 2025.
It's not new, but I hope to do more strength and conditioning because I've been dreadful at that.
And lastly, to wrap off our extremely slow lightning round, you guys, you've got a choice, yeah? You've got one envelope here and one envelope here. You open it up. One says dinner with Hayden or run with Wilco in 2025. Which one do you do, Marissa?
Well, I'd run with Wilco because I have dinner with Hayden now and again, don't I? Don't need to do it again.
Does he still have to sit in that kiddie chair?
Yeah.
Oh, bless him. Wilco, you can't run with yourself, so you're going to dinner with Hayden. Steph.
I'm not moaning.
I want to flip the script a bit on you, Chris.
Mm.
I want you
I'll run with Steph, and then we'll go dinner with Hayden. There we go. That's it, people.
Yeah.
That was the world's longest lightning round. Congratulations, team. Okay, Wilco, before we get into the next part of this award-winning podcast, what have we got in the chat? Because I've seen it being lit up like an old Christmas tree that's been taken down.
We've had a few people talking about their New Year's resolutions. Kevin Levinson, he's going to run his first marathon, so best of luck with that, Kevin. JP went for his first run with Alan down at Eastbourne on Tuesday in his first 40 group. I'm sure, and I would like to encourage everybody to, in 2025, to seek out their local 40 Runs Run Club. And
we shall come on to that, Wilco.
Pop along for a nice run. Gary McKay, he's looking forward to training for Boston. He's bought a pair of Addy 04s. Any good?
Pro 4s?
Yeah, it's
lovely.
04.
Lovely. Yeah.
Lovely. Janet Holcroft was after some seasoned runners who have been struggling to get back in the game. A few tips, I'm sure we're going to come on to that in a bit.
Yeah.
And Stephen C, he was suggesting that a good thing for new runners to do is to celebrate doing well and don't get too disappointed if things don't work out, because things happen outside your control.
Yeah, just briefly, actually, before we come on to Steph, I think it's worth mentioning. It's like dangerously cold outside, dangerous conditions. I know, Wilco, you yourself, you cancelled Broxhorn this week because you was worried about the conditions. It's a tough one if you're struggling to get back into running, or you've been out for running, you're trying to get back, and then you look out the door and it's like -5. It saps all the motivation out of you totally, doesn't it? So I totally understand that. What I would say is, if it's a day like that, then get yourself along to your gym, get yourself on a treadmill, get yourself in the pool, look to do something that maybe would be something new, something different, and hopefully that kickstarts whatever fitness thing that you're on. So don't be despondent if it's dangerous outside, because like it's just stupid to go out there. Just try and do something different, like I say, and that will hopefully then kickstart the whole sort of fitness drive and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'd say. Just be safe. But I understand it's quite tough when you're lacking motivation in general, and then you look out the window and you go, I don't really want to be out there. I want to put a pair of trousers on, some yellow socks, and a yellow hat. That was it. Okay. Right, Steph. So let's get to know Steph a little bit better. Wilco, I know you said you really wanted a griller and you've got 100 questions, but I don't think that's fair.
Go for it.
What I really wanted to tell. So firstly, Steph helps us out and is one of our amazing leaders at our Leeds satellite group, which is a group we run in partnership with the Leeds Rhinos. So big shout out to everybody who's going there. So if you're in the Leeds area, we run a group up there that meets at the famous Henley Stadium. So make sure you get along to that. It's free to attend. And you'll have the pleasure of Steph on a Wednesday. Is that right, Steph? Yeah.
Wednesdays.
What's that like, doing that satellite group up there?
Oh, we're doing a bit of everything. At the moment, it's a bit of an ice rink, so we had to cancel this week, unfortunately. But next week, we're back in action, and we do a lot of the indoor stuff. So we have brilliant access to the stadium itself. We're allowed to go around the cricket grounds as well, since they're attached to each other. So, I mean, we're in a really unique position, that partnership that we have, to where we do have the indoor facilities, and we can set up mini sessions, strength and conditioning sessions, sprints, you name it. And then we can also go around the streets of Headingley, which is the local area.
It's amazing. And what I love about it is, and we'll come on to this in more detail, as you said, but is that inclusivity of the sessions? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're partnered with the Leeds Rhinos Foundation, as you mentioned, and within that we have some of the other Leeds Rhinos rugby players that join us for these sessions. And it's fantastic because we've got the Learning Disability Super League members. We also have all the acronyms. I can't think of all of them, what they stand for, but we've got loads of different individuals that are there, and we've got fast runners, we have slow runners, we have people with disabilities, people without disabilities, moving forward. Like, it's just amazing, the mix and community that we've really built.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. it's a shining light within the FORDY Runs running club and community in terms of it symbolizes what we stand for as a club and community in terms of ultra inclusivity and our ethos of no barrier to entry. I think it's so powerful what happens up at Leeds, and with the support of the Leeds Rhinos as well. It just shows you what can be done through the strength of communities. No, it's incredibly powerful. So in terms of because this is what I'm super interested in this. So this back of the pack initiative, I've called this, right? Because I love it.
Yeah.
So tell the viewers, listeners, we get about 1 million downloads every day. So tell all those people what this thing is that you've come up with, which is just brilliant.
Oof, well, it depends which you want me to talk about because there's a lot of things in the pipeline at the moment. So we've got something planned for July, which is a big initiative. And if you are what you consider yourself to be a slow runner, or even if you just want to come support slow runners, there's going to be a massive initiative that'll be launched soon. I don't want to give too many details, but soon, because we still need to finish planning all the logistics and details behind it. But keep your July calendar open, July 13th. You might be able to guess what this is. It's a half marathon distance. If you think you can't do it, you can. Trust me, we're making sure you can. It'll be absolutely inclusive for everybody, every ability. We are making sure of it. You're supported. You're welcome. Come join us. Mark that date in your diary. We'll put more information out on the Facebook group at some point soon, but just mark that date in your diary and hold to it and start training.
What do you think?
So that's
what do you think the challenges are of being a back of the pack runner?
Oh, there's loads. You're often out there on your own. So there's that. There's the fact that people not look down on you, but people aren't there necessarily supporting you. They finish a race, they're tired, they leave, they go home. So there's a lot of emptiness, you could almost say, when you're out there on course, whether that's the volunteers who have already been out there for several hours helping and supporting others. It's not that you're forgotten necessarily, but you're not catered to. And one of the things that we want to try and do with this initiative is make sure you are absolutely catered to.
I have to give London Marathon Events kudos after they learned that lesson, what happened years ago in terms of the marathon. I also have a lot of admiration for the New York City Marathon as well, in terms of the way
they're
the way they operate. I think like you say, a lot of races and events can learn a lot from where they're going, and I think, like yourself, you know, starting and doing and talking about these sort of things highlights the need for we say we're inclusive sport and all this sort of stuff, but actually when you really get into it, we're still miles away from where we need to be.
I mean, if you think about it, when I sign up for a race, the first thing I do is I check the cutoff time. Most people, if they're a mid-pack runner or front of the pack, they don't have to worry about that kind of thing. That's the first thing I look for. And oftentimes it's either not there or it's hard to find. You have to contact race directors sometimes to find that kind of information because they don't even think about people who are actually at the back. And I want to hopefully get it in people's heads that actually we're a community too. We're part of this. Huge. We have every right to be there.
Huge part of the community.
This should improve, though, shouldn't it? About what we were talking about earlier, about the expansion of events and the number of things that are happening. The more people that do it, the more of people who are going to have finishing times in every bracket are going to think, and more people are going to think that they can do these races, so that they should be encouraged to do so. And the organisers have to cater for everybody. It should naturally become more inclusive.
We have to be careful, though, because, I mean, even I've contacted race officials and race directors recently saying, hey, I'm willing to pace 3.5 hours. Most pacing stops at 2.5 or 2:45, sometimes 3 hours. That's my limit. I barely made a sub-3 half marathon. I'm very happy to be out there 3 hours 45. I did one of those. That was my time for Great North Run was 3:39. I have no shame in that. I want to be out there supporting people, and I want to be out there helping people and pacing people because I want to be able to help other people with what I've learned so that they can help other people with what they've learned and how they can get through it and push their bodies and get used to it and feel accomplished, just like the 2 hour.
And the thing is, if you've got a 4 hour cutoff, you should have paces all the way up to 4 hours. Why have you not?
Absolutely.
When we went to
4 hour cutoff.
When we went to Benidorm for the half marathon, the slowest pacer was 2 hours.
Yeah, it's. I
a
mean,
shame.
I would say as a country, we're better than a lot. Like listening to you guys who've
Yeah.
travelled around now, and heard some of the stories, in Europe and things like that. With
Oh
regards,
yeah, they're bad.
yeah, in terms of inclusivity as a sport. I think we know that has to change, and that's why I say I get a little bit frustrated when I hear, oh, we're doing all this stuff to be inclusive, and actually, when you get into it, it's not. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's better than it was 5 years ago, but there's still a hell of a
It's
long
better
way.
than when I started.
What respect?
Well, now I finished. I think it was the Hampton Court half marathon. And I was the last runner to finish years ago. I think it was my first half, so maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 5. There was no one there. They'd literally packed up. They chucked me a bunch of bananas and left, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was 3 hours 20, I think I was. So the cutoff was 3:30. There was nobody there. Nobody. They're all gone.
Have the cut-off times got sort of longer?
They
you
have,
noticed?
yeah, definitely.
Yes and no.
Okay, name and shame.
That's
Yeah,
harsh.
that
Well, one of the things that I'm trying to work on with a particular organization is I keep reminding them that if they're hosting a 10K, a half, and a 5K, 10K, and a half, and there's loads of companies that do that, they don't extend the 5 and 10K to the same cutoff mark as the half. That way it's an extended race availability for the 5 and 10K. They don't do that. They still have cutoff times for the 5 and 10K, and I disagree with that. I think if there's flexibility and you've still got runners out there running the half, why can't you still have 5 and 10K runners out finishing with that same time frame? So I'm trying to work with a particular organization on that, but they said they'd take it to a meeting.
It makes no difference what race.
It makes no difference
That makes
to
no
them.
sense. Why would you just not say yeah? Sorry, maybe I'm being thick.
Precisely.
Right?
Yeah, they'd get more people signing up as well, wouldn't they? Say to the 10K.
That was my argument. Absolutely, and it promotes inclusivity.
Well, I don't think they should be promoted. It should just be inclusive. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be going. We're really inclusive. No, you should be inclusive. Stop it. Stop misbehaving.
It's not for them to judge if they're being inclusive or not.
No.
It's for the people who are in the event
Yeah.
who judge whether these people are being. I feel included as so.
Yeah.
You can't say we're being inclusive.
No, who are you?
That's got nothing to do with you, mate.
Exactly.
It's up to us. We're the punters. We tell you whether
pay our
we feel
money.
it's inclusive or not.
I think some of the events, to give them their due. So London Marathon, the cut-off time is 8 hours, I think, which is fantastic. But if you go beyond 8 hours for a marathon, volunteers, you're not going to get the volunteers because it's cold. London Marathon standing around is cold. And you aren't going to get volunteers that do over 8 hours.
One of the things I will say is I will praise Run for All in particular, just because we had one of our runners do the Robborough Leeds Marathon last year, and they finished it in 7 hours 50 when I think the cutoff time was meant to be 7 hours. And it's fantastic. They stayed out there. There was still support on staff. They had the sweeper behind the person, but actually they didn't go in front and they didn't push them to the side.
Not like Tokyo,
so
where they take you out.
Oh, I still couldn't get over that.
Exactly.
No, you know what? In fairness, you're right. Run for All, a good example of a sort of a reasonable size organisation that's putting on good events. More sort of north based to a degree, and they're doing a cracking job in terms of that inclusivity and trying to make it a little bit better. And again, give them they're all learning, in terms of. And I appreciate the costs involved. I appreciate, again, if you've not listened to it, we had Andy from the Chelmsford Half on talking about costs and things like that, road closures. It's super interesting. So check that out. It's a pod we put out over Christmas. So it gives you an idea in terms of the costs and things involved. So I understand they've got open roads up and they've got to do all that. But the thing is, if you're going to put, as you say, a 5, 10K and a half on, that simply makes no sense to me at all in terms of not keeping it open. But also, as I said, I want to praise London Marathon for, changing the narrative on that. So they can do it if they decide to do it, but just don't pretend to do it. Yeah, we know, who we're talking about. But I remember I've got admin in my ear, so I have to be a good boy. This is treading thin ice here. Oh yeah, so I think it's so that's coming. So I think as always we're very proud to make sure as a club and as a community we are inclusive. We don't try and be inclusive. We are. So jog on anybody who thinks that we're not. And I think if you're listening to this and you're part of a running club, how are they inclusive? I don't know. You tell me. But more needs to be done about that. 100%. Race organisers and other clubs as well, because we know there's unfortunately some more traditional clubs out there. Yeah. And Marissa's story is brilliant that she left hers because basically they told her she's crap. So, and that's true. That's a true story. So, unfortunately, that's still out there. So that definitely needs to change. And hopefully it will by people like Steph doing these sort of things and being awesome. I think that helps. Right, team. So let's talk about new runners because there's going to be a lot of them this year. Whether they stick to it, I don't know. But when you see celebrities all going, what's her face? I was going to say something bad then. This is so hard tonight, right? To try not to get into trouble. There was a young lady on social media.
I think I know what you're going to say. The Gogglebox girl.
Whatever her name is, she's taken up running. There's some other person taken up running. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we've got all the celebrities who have got London Marathon places. So they, don't. Oh. No, let's move on from that. I saw something. It made me very angry today. Made me very angry about that. So I can't talk about that. Otherwise, admin's going to kill me. We're going to have to move on. But basically, yes, what was I saying? There's loads of new runners. Loads of new runners. And we need to talk about that. So what I came up with, I'm trying to rescue the show, Wilco.
You're doing great, mate.
You're doing great.
Do you reckon any guys noticed? No. Okay. Good.
Not at all.
So what I want to do, I drew up a list because I like a list. Steph's got, she's like me, she's neurodivergent. She's got ADHD. When you're bad, when you send yourself 13 emails in a day. You'll know that the wheels of motion are slowing when you're sending yourself 13 in a day. Anyway, one of those emails I sent to myself, are they all to myself? Was I wrote down some things that you may need to know. I know, Mick. I know that you need to know as a new runner. Okay, so I wrote these down on the train because I'm a legend. It's like I got again, Steph. You could resonate 100% with this. I was on the train and I got about 40 hours of work done in about 4 minutes. Yeah, it was just 100%. Like crushing it. But it was 13 emails to myself. But I'm a legend. So anyway, I came up with these things. What's her face on Gogglebox?
I don't know her name, but I know who you mean.
Oh, we're gonna have to look her up. We're gonna have to. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to because this is for her. I've done this list for her. This is a problem also when you watch too much TikTok. You just talk amongst yourselves.
How are we doing here?
Yeah. Is there anyone in the comments? Just see what they say.
Yeah, lots of love for Leeds.
Who's the girl on Gogglebox, guys? Give us the name.
Mick's said what brilliant time he's had on a couple of his visits to Leeds, and Alfie Dickinson saying that he loves the Rob Barrow Leeds Marathon. He's doing that again. Good luck with that again.
I've got to talk about it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Go on then, what's the name?
Right. So, this next part of this show, well done, Wilco, for covering me there. This next part of this show is, and if anybody knows her, make sure you tag her on this, for Georgia Toffolo.
Oh.
Isn't she made in Chelsea?
That, right? So, this is for her. Because she said that she started running. So for this next section, I haven't done an intro because I didn't have time on the train in my 40 hours. Because after I've done that 40 hours of work in 4 minutes, I'm burnt out. I got nothing, done.
Yeah.
So this is for Toff. Okay. So if anybody knows her, Hayden probably does.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Probably been some dinner party with her or something. So this is for
Clearly.
her. So we shall now call this the Toff special. And the first thing that Toff needs to do, and she's done it because I've seen it on TikTok, she needs to invest in some new gear. She's invested, she told everybody on TikTok, into a hydration vest and some leggings, or trousers as Marissa would call them, and some other bits and bobs. So, Wilco, if you are a new runner, and looking back, what would be the first thing you would invest in? And don't say running shoes, because everybody, unless they're like...
Apart from running shoes,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, just the basics. I mean,
Which
when
are?
a comfortable non-cotton t-shirt, worst comes to the worst, wear a football shirt and a pair of shorts, pair of undershorts as well. Perhaps I tend to wear cycling shorts underneath and have done always. But like when I first went out, I was terrible. I looked like, you know, when we used to see Boris Johnson going out for a run.
Yeah.
I used to be dressed like, I'd be all over the place, you know, and he's got sort of like two odd. It looks like he's literally taken his trousers off and walked out the door and gone. You know, I was all over the place. So yeah, cotton t-shirts, bad idea. Socks, not white cotton socks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some running socks rather than the conventional white socks because they'll bug you up with blisters.
Okay. I would say, because I just realised the time, so we're going to back through this. I would say, actually, if you can afford it, and some of them are a bit cheaper, especially if you're like a Vitality member or something like that, you could pick up a Garmin cheap. I would say a smartwatch, because then you can track what you're doing. Like Wilco said, about sleep and your heart rate.
Lack of it.
Yeah, or lack of it. But you can connect it up to all the social platforms that you don't need to pay for. But you can do all that. And you
get a Fitbit. Fitbit.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. Steph, what have you got a GPS watch?
I do. I've got a
pretty
Garmin,
good, right? And you don't.
Yeah, I think it's
you don't need to be spending like Hayden does $2,000 on your Garmin, okay, and have the worst watch face ever. Although he has changed it. This is good news, by the way. He has changed his watch face to a picture of me, and I'm not making that up. No, because he's going to miss me when I do the Sydney Marathon. So, invest in good gear, people, is the first thing I thought of on the train.
Women, good bras.
Oh, well, Toff needs to know that. Toff needs to know. Make sure you message her on Instagram after this, Marissa, and tag her in this.
She needs a good bra.
So, Toff, the second thing Toff needs to think about, right, as with her running, I want her to think about her running form, because everybody who's new, you're probably going out there and just shuffling about. Okay, I do want you to think a little bit when you're starting, because I'm trying to think of preventing injuries. So think about how you're running. Yeah, there's loads of stuff on YouTube. We don't need to go too deep into it, but with running coach hat on, I think it's something that when people start out on their couch to 5K journey, or they're coming back into running, you don't actually prioritize your running form. You wouldn't even think about it. You're just thinking, right, I've just got to get this done. But think about whether you're upward, whether your head's like between your knees, if you're shuffling along, all that sort of thing. It's worth taking a note of and thinking about. So all I ask you to do is think about putting in some proper form. So hopefully Toff's got some good running form. Steph, do you think Toff's going to have some good running form? Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. No idea.
When you was doing couch to 5K and things like that, Marissa, how much did you prioritise the non-running days?
Yeah, you have to have non-running days. I thought you was going to say form, because everyone says my form's
rubbish. No, I moved on.
God.
Lucky Ben ain't here, because Wilco would have had him.
Well, then you could pick on him.
Yeah.
But non-running day, you've got to have rest days. Go.
I think a lot of runners, like new runners, they go, like Toff, she's seen it on social. She's thinking, I need to get involved in this because I need a contract with Lululemon, right? So she's all over this.
Don't we all?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice, right?
Yes.
But you've got to have loads of money. Loads and loads. No, Wilco, got to be careful. No.
Stop there.
What happens is in my brain, right? I have these flashes of things that come in that I want to talk about, that I've seen that I can't talk about because I will get an email I'll get a WhatsApp. So we move on. I don't even know what I was going to say. So I'm going to move on to the next one because I've totally lost track of where I am. But I do want to talk. Oh, yeah, that was it. Rest days. So new runners like Toff, all they do is they go out, right, I've got to run. So I'm going to go and run every day. And it's true.
The worst thing you can do as a new runner.
It is. Steph, back me up here.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. That's how you get injured. Your body's not used to it. You need to, you need that rest. Because when you do rest, your body recovers and then you're able to do better the next one.
And that does bring me on to one of the points I did write down for Toff, was basically start slow, build gradually, yeah? And this comes back to that in terms of prioritizing that recovery. You've got to remember that when you're starting out on this, you don't, like you said, you don't need to be running every day. If you start slowly and build gradually, if you follow the NHS web app, for example, it doesn't have you running every day. So, Toff, just because you've seen everybody on Instagram trying to get the Lululemon contract, you don't need to run 500 miles a day and 50 times a week. It's pointless. Yeah, all you're going to do is get injured. So it is true to prioritize. And even as somebody who's like Wilco, you're you should say you're training for your 7th marathon.
Yeah.
Even in your plan, which is Hanson, it starts slowly, right? And builds gradually.
I've got one 10%. Yeah. It's 6 days a week, but then I'm used to running 6 days a week. I've been running 6 days a week for sort of like 8 or 9 years. I've not just started, I've always sort of like done that. A band, it's the old 80-20, it's a tempo session. And I mean, the tempo session is only marathon pace. You're not blasting out, too much. It's just getting used to what sort of pace you're going to try and run on the big day. So I don't think people go too fast. Everybody tries to run too fast. In lockdown, a lot of the lads that I worked with, I set up a running group and said, come on in, we'll just put on there, we'll have a Strava and we can keep sort of like a track of what people are doing just for like the social. Had a lot of lads who couldn't play any five-a-side football, things like that. And they were like, oh, I've done 5K. Oh, I've done 5K again today. I'm going to do 10K tomorrow. Oh, I'll smash 10K. Oh, I've done 10K in under half an hour. I'm going to do it in under 25 minutes tomorrow. And then sort of like day 8 and 9, oh, my knee hurts. Oh, I've done my hamstring. And then that's it. They're burnt out and they don't do it.
That's the thing. So hopefully Toff's listening to this. If I'm going to follow her on Strava now, because I need to make sure she's not doing this. I'm worried about the girl. I do think though that my next point she is probably all right on, and that's nutrition, right? Because when you start out your running, you're going to feel like you need to eat a lot. And as somebody who does eat a lot, I can give you the bit of advice. You don't need to eat as much as you think you are eating, because everything's going to speed up metabolism, everything. And you're going to be like, yeah, I need to fuel my run with this massive Five Guys meal. You don't. Okay. You just need to put in the right amount of the right things, and that'll just be fine for you. So focusing on nutrition. Steph, is nutrition something you look at in much detail?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of those, I get anxious quite easily when it comes to that sort of thing, because I don't want to poop myself on course. I want to make sure I'm going out there and I know, and I've got it planned out. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, you've got to. I mean, everybody, I would say at the half marathon distance, if you're doing at least that, then you've got to be thinking about nutrition. 10K, I'd argue as well, for a lot of people. You need to be.
Well, I would say as well, if you're starting running and you're obviously doing it for some reason, getting nutrition sorted, and if you're running for your mental health, you're running, because you for whatever reason, the sorting out the nutrition will also help massively, people. It doesn't matter how much cardio you're doing. If you're going, after you finish and you're having 10 katsu curries and a whole pack of Whispers on the way home on the train, then you're going to be banging trouble. All right. So just, Toff, I think, is on top of this. So we don't have to worry about her in terms of nutrition. But is she, and this is a question for all of you who know her well, do you think she's paying attention to her strength training? What do you think, Marissa? You said, not sure. Because as a new runner, right, you think to yourself...
I think it's neglected by 90% of runners, to be
95%,
honest.
95%, probably. Because you think, I'm going to start running. I'm going to get fit, right? I'm sacking off this belly, and I'm going to get out there. And everybody's on social media. Me and Toff, we're going to go out there. We want this Lululemon contract. We're going for it, yeah? So she's on there, but at the same time, how much gym is she thinking about that she's doing? How much does she think that she needs to? Maybe she's doing a little bit, but is she then targeting those specific muscles that she's using, like, building her glutes up and things like that?
Do you know a lot of runners don't even know what strength training is? They think if they do a few squats and whatever, that's it, they've done it. So
That's the thing.
I do think a lot of runners neglect their strength.
New runner.
Do you think it's just a non-knowing, a not knowing? So there's a lack of education around what should be incorporated with running? Because actually, going back to the point about not running every day, movement every day is still important, but maybe not running every day.
Understanding proper strength training, what you need, is key, right? And I think if you're starting on your running journey, coming back into running, you need to think to yourself, right, I'm going to be doing this running, but I also need to be doing this strength work, because the two go hand in hand, people. You can only get so far and then you'll get injured. So, you know, Toff, if you listen to this, darling, you need to make sure you're smashing out the gym. It also looks good on social media if you're in there. Just don't go to my gym, because I will tell you off. Hence the story before Christmas. But I'm telling you now, mate, get along to the gym. Right. Next thing, because we've only got 2 left and I've just seen the time. Okay. How much difference do you think it makes to a new runner, whether they're sort of unsure about trails or tracks, or because I think a track's intimidating for a new runner.
Yeah.
I think trail running is an interesting one. If you're somebody who's new to running, but you're hitting the trails, I think that's I wouldn't say a specialist subject, but it's different to a road-based runner in terms of the ups and downs. Yeah,
but it can really amplify like your mental the mental boost that it gives you. I mean, I moved back in with my mum and dad for a little while when during lockdown, and they live out in the sticks, and I was doing all my running out on the trails and through woods and things like that. It doesn't give you a good feeling when you're out in sort of like nature, and you know, and it's not just, you know, you're not just avoiding the lorries and, you know, waiting for the traffic lights to change and all that sort of. You get a real sense of escape, and I just think. I think if you're starting that linked to this, just be open-minded about trying anything. Just, you know, going out. Don't worry about, you know, don't think, oh God, I've got to run up that big hill. You know, just run up and see how you get on.
I always think that. What are you talking about?
Well, exactly.
Or you know what? Walk it.
Yeah, heroes.
Depends who you're chasing.
Yeah, exactly. So don't worry about it. Give things a go and just see what you like. Because there's so much within the whole scope of running, you will find your thing. So experiment and take a chance and have a go at stuff. That's what I would suggest.
Now I want to finish on where's Mick's comment? It's down here. Hang on. There we go. This is what I wanted to finish on because it's quite a good story. So Mick, if you're watching, listening to the pod back, Mick has wrote, can I say if I was to start again, I'd look for a club? Because when I joined Staff's FORDYs, it changed the way I approached running. Before I would go hell for leather for however long. So he's changed his mindset, but it's also giving him structure. It's also giving him social aspect as well. And I think also something like Mick gives you accountability showing up every week as well. So it's like, oh, are you going club this week? Yeah. Oh, I better go as well. So that helps. We've spoken, you know, about clubs and stuff like that. But look, there's so many good ones out there that are really welcoming. Okay. So, you know, look up your local running club. There's so many out there. We've got, you know, 60 locations across the country. You know, Steph's Leeds, Marissa's in Surrey. You've got Wilco's running Broxbourne for us in Hertfordshire. We've got groups all over the country, yeah. But there's not just us. There's other clubs out there, great clubs that will welcome you and help you, and you'll get that social connection. I think as a new runner, don't be put off by some of the stuff you see. I mean, poor old Top, she's probably sitting there scrolling through TikTok. She's seeing Jenny Faulkner doing 100,000 miles a week. She's seeing some other skinny geezer in a sore running top doing, you know, 10,000 miles at 20,000 miles an hour pace or whatever they're doing. And, you know, and all this sort of stuff. It can be quite intimidating. It can be quite off-putting. You're thinking, oh, if I go to a run club, they're all going to look like that person. They're going to all run like as fast as that person. It's not like that. There's a lot of really great clubs out there. A lot of really great community clubs as well that will welcome you. Okay. And again, this is not an advert for 40 runs. This is an advert for running and
never be worried about your speed.
No. And
Ever.
that's the thing. So don't be put off. You might go along to one and it might not be for you. It might not have the right feel. But don't worry about it because there'll be another one because there's about a million running clubs. The only thing I would say is just make sure they've got insurance and the geezer who's leading it or young lady who's leading it knows what they're doing. We see a group the other night running through a town. I won't mention them, but none of them had lights on. And then there was a lady left all the way up on her own behind. There's a geezer with a boombox on. If that lady gets in trouble, how's he going to hear? And they're running at night. They've got these speakers on, trying to be all great for TikTok and Instagram, but with a boombox on, how do you know if that runner's been hit by a car, or that person is having epileptic fit, or they're having an asthma attack? How do you know that if you've got a boombox on? You don't, do you? So it's bloody irresponsible.
Well, that's what's good about our clubs, though, isn't it? Because we always have back warners.
But I'm not talking about it. But there's other clubs that don't do all that. Yeah. So just what my point is, but that might be for you. You might enjoy that. Okay. So Ken, I'm not taking anything away from you, but just be aware of it, people. Make sure that the wherever you go to fits whatever you're looking for. Yeah. You're going, Steph.
And I think you also have to try and ask them to be a bit flexible with you as well. So if we know that someone who's coming to our session, we know they're injured, we absolutely make sure there's something catered for everybody that attends. And I think all the run leaders that I'm aware of in 40 runs, one of the good things about that, we always make sure we cater to the slowest person, the injured person. We cater to everyone. If you show up, you're catered for. And I think that's one of the things that if you go to a different one, they need to be doing that as well. And if they're not, like you said, they're not the right club.
Yeah, I mean, that's an ethos that I've trickled down throughout the club, right? But there are other clubs out there that are super inclusive like us. So find your local one, whatever works for you. But as a new runner, Toff, go and find one that will work for you because
I think it's just the power of being around people.
Yes,
who are friendly and don't worry. Every new inquiry that I get about Broxbourne, people say, "I'd love to come, but I think I'm too slow."
Yeah. Always.
Even you know, like, I can only do a park run in half an hour. What? I had one like that. But this is what you have this all the time. But everybody, I mean, if everybody who is in the group, if you are in a group, everybody can do this. It's not just down to the person who's wearing the badge and running the session. If you create an environment and a culture that is welcoming and friendly and chatty, and then it's great. I don't have to, at Broxbourne, I don't have to think about that because I know it happens and people will look after people. And when I speak to people afterwards and say, "Oh, did you enjoy it? Do you want to be on the WhatsApp?" "Oh, it was brilliant. Everyone was so lovely."
I know.
And everybody, the power of being around people who are doing the same thing, having a great time, having a laugh, chatting to you, taking an interest in what you're doing, it makes a massive difference.
It does, Wilco. I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. To be honest with you, I think don't be put off by some of the stuff you see. A lot of it's for show. They can be very clever with their rules. They can say they get 1,000 million people and there's only about 3 of them there, and it can look intimidating. Just don't worry about it. Just show up, get yourself along. The power of the real running club community, not what you see on social media, is really powerful. There's some amazing clubs throughout the country that will welcome you with open arms, and it can really help you in terms of your running journey if you're getting into running this year. So make sure you get along. Believe it or not, I think I've managed. Let me check my WhatsApp from admin. Let's just see if I've managed to get absolutely bollock free this week.
I think you have.
I think I've done.
Yeah,
I've done well. I've saved it. I think it's because Steph was on. She saved the show.
Do what I can.
Look, quickly spin round. What are you guys running this weekend? Sensibly because of the weather. Marissa.
I'm doing Wickford Park Run with a few 4Ds, then Mark Wright's fitness thing. Running.
Interesting story. I used to live in Wickford.
Oh, well, that's where we're going. There's a few of us going.
I'm busy. Wilco? I'm not. Wilco?
I've got 8 miles to do tomorrow, which I think I'll probably do on a treadmill, see how that goes. And then I've got 8 miles to do on Sunday.
8 miles on the treadmill.
Yeah, but it's not too bad because I'm not looking at a wall.
What are you looking at? Picture of me.
Big gym.
Oh, he's in the gym. He's influencing in the gym. Oh, they'll love that. They'll love you huffing a puff.
Well, I had a bit of a drama in the gym on Thursday.
Oh,
because,
tell me. Why I like a drama?
Well, I locked my locker with a padlock, and when I came back, the combination wouldn't work, and I was there in my gym kit waiting, and all my keys and all my clothes and all my stuff was in the locker, and I couldn't get into it, so I had to wander down to reception and say, "Can't get my locker, my face broken," and they got the massive bolt cutters out. Cut my locker open. Yeah, I don't know. I feel a nana.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Well done. Make sure you.
Lucky you weren't swimming.
So yeah. So perhaps I'll revisit the question of what do you need most? A running kit. I need either a bolt cutter or a new padlock or both.
I was just say bolt cutter. Steph, what are you up to this weekend?
I'm enjoying a rest weekend. I'm going to start half marathon training soon, so I want to enjoy my rest time.
Oh, great.
Lucky for some.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, team. So that's it. Well done, guys. Thanks very much, Steph, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Make sure you look out in the Facebook group and on the socials. If you're not following the club, make sure you go to Instagram and Facebook and follow the club. We'll be putting some information out about the Back the Pack initiative. Also, get along to the Leeds satellite group if you're in the Leeds area. You could belong to another club. We don't care who you are. Just come along.
A lot of our members actually already do belong to other clubs.
Exactly, right. This is what it should be about. Hopefully, Toff will be along next week if she's in the Leeds area. I don't know. Really. Yeah,
I expect her. Yeah.
But thanks very much, Toff, for getting involved in tonight's show. I don't even know if that's her name. I just saw it. I just read it says on here, Toff. I just apologies if I've upset her. Thank you very much, admin, for not telling me off tonight. I think that's probably the best way of saying it. Next week, we've had a bit of a cock up on the scheduling. I'm just going to hold my hands up. That's on me. So we're actually going to put a pre-record out next week. It's actually going to be a really good show, but we have to put out a pre-record next week because I mucked up the schedule. Yeah.
Before we go as well, we ought to wish everybody good luck who is travelling to Cork on the latest Extreme Park Run tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well done, everybody. Be safe. Anybody have a shout-outs for anyone? No? Yeah?
Can I ask you, Chris, again? I want you to run a marathon, half marathon with me. So do bear that in mind. And anybody, please get Chris to join me.
Chris, just do it.
It's going to be at the back of the pack.
Half marathons.
Well, you're coming to Leeds, and it's not flat. It's not flat at all.
I'll get bullied into all these things in terms of...
You'll be fine.
Will I be fine?
You'll love it.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay.
You will. Great, a fantastic community, great atmosphere, and the spectators are...
Do they like people that moan for about 3.5 hours? Okay, that's good. All right, team. Thanks very much, everybody who's tuned in live. We really appreciate it. Make sure you tell all your friends. We will not pay for advertising. I've got to stop. We shall see you all. Very close, Wilco. Very close.
Close.
Very close. Well, I shall see you all next week. No, I'll see you Monday. I'm back live on Monday. So I will be there on Monday. Hopefully not getting into trouble. So bye-bye. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.